I want to make it to the Olympics, like the big goals.
I already tried mine, I'm not gonna lie.
Hi everybody, this is Tyler for DP Sports. We have a very special interview today with recent 2024 graduate Bella Whittaker, who will be competing in the 4x400 meter relay. First of all, congratulations on making the Olympics. And it has been an absolute pleasure for Penn to see your rise in track and breaking all these records, competing at Ivy League championships, competing at NCAA championships. To start, first off, how are you feeling in taking in this entire Paris experience?
Yeah, well, first of all, thank you for that nice introduction, and also thank you for having me. This has been fun. But more importantly, thank you for this. But yeah, I mean, it's been a really surreal experience. I've only been here for a couple days, maybe 5 or so. I don't compete for a little bit, so it's kind of just been a little bit of soaking it all in, training as well. But yeah, I feel great. I'm really excited to be here. So
speaking of these amazing snacks here, we have an iced tea here, a little bit of chocolate. Bella, what do you have there?
A lemon tart of sorts, and then also an espresso because I haven't had my second cup of coffee today, and that was essential.
I know. As with any athlete, we know that food is essential to fuel up the body, and so getting a little bit of nice dessert. Sorry to coach, but
yes, yeah. She's fine. She's fine.
Recently, in the past few days, you just had the opening ceremony. How can you describe the opening ceremony experience? Just being in the Seine River and going through and seeing all these amazing athletes around you. Could you kind of describe that experience?
Yeah, I mean, it was very wet because it was pouring almost the entire time. So it was definitely a fun experience, though, despite that, because, I got to meet a lot of my fellow Team USA athletes, which was really fun. So I honestly wouldn't have traded it for the world. I think that we really just embraced the fact that it was pouring down on us and just loved it regardless.
A big part of your story has been your sister, Juliette, who competes in the 800 meter and attends Stanford. Your guys' special bond has kind of really emanated throughout. And I was wondering, could you kind of describe that bond that you have with your sister and what it means to be siblings here and represent Team USA?
Yeah, I mean, we've been doing this track thing together throughout the entirety of both of our careers, so we're very used to having each other around. We don't always get the opportunity to because she's on the West Coast and I'm on the East, we don't always get the opportunity to compete to compete at the same meets. So this is very nice that we're here and like the last bit of our season, with trials and NCAAs, we were able to be at the same meet. And it's, something that's super nice about having her here is that it's really comforting. I mentioned that it's an overwhelming experience. It's my first Olympics, so getting used to a lot of things, figuring out the Olympic Village, but it's nice to have a point person. So I'm definitely super glad that she's here.
I also heard that you were once a competitive swimmer actually for a few years. Could you kind of describe your swimming experience as well as how it may have helped your track career?
For sure. I think there's a lot of things, honestly, that I take with me from swimming because from a young age, I feel like I was just taught how to be a holistic athlete. I mean, I know you were a swimmer as well, so what it's like, the grind, every day in the pool for multiple hours, it's 2 practice a day. It's definitely it's a pretty tough sport. I look up to a lot of the swimmers because it's pretty insane. I think it's taught me a lot of dedication, a lot of what it's like to be a responsible athlete. So definitely a lot of things I take with me, but then also physically as well. I think it definitely helped with my aerobic kind of threshold for track.
For sure. I mean, I see a lot of similarities in terms of the conditioning aspect of swimming.
Yeah.
And track. One is on land, one is on water. So
yeah, for sure. And even now, I do go to the pool once a week at least, and I like to go cross train. So it's helpful that I have that swim background that I can if I need to running's really hard on the body. So swimming's a nice way to kind of take a day to still get in a good workout or some good cross training as well. So
it's awesome. Helpful. And now looking at Penn, how has Penn really shaped your collegiate track experience? Could you kind of describe a little bit?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Penn has helped me definitely to be or Penn track, I should say, has helped me to be the athlete that I am, especially my coach, and even like my athletic trainer Mo. They've definitely given me the support that I've needed. I had a bit of like, some injuries kind of in the middle of my career, so definitely had to take a stop. And since then have been able to develop. So I owe a lot of my development and the fact that I'm here at the Olympics to my time at Penn for sure. Because before then I was I was like a runner, but I kind of the way that I ran was just to kind of get to the finish line. I learned how to run more efficiently. I learned how to cover more ground, like technique. A lot of things I learned while I was at Penn that I needed to learn to get to where I am. So it was a big step in this whole career of mine.
Yeah, it's really great to hear how Penn has really like shaped your track experience and how it has really aided you to get to where you are today. And being such a big part of your life. I also wanted to ask, has the 400 meter always kind of been your signature event, or how did you kind of grow into that event?
Yeah, I kind of can't remember, to be honest. It was definitely kind of my signature event. I think one of my first races that I ran was a 4x4, and I think at that moment I remember just running really well. And having like a pretty good split off the bat, and I know my coach was like, "Oh, yeah, you're gonna be a 400 meter runner," and I've never looked back. I think I've been able to dabble a little bit more in the shorter sprints, just to kind of work on my fast twitch, because I don't think I always knew that I was as quick as I am, but I'm actually quicker than I thought, or that I give myself credit for. So definitely, I feel like naturally the 400's like my race, though, for sure.
I see. And was making the Olympics always a dream of yours since you were young?
Yeah, for sure. It used to be for swimming. Like my sister and I used to say, like it'd be swimming. So it's crazy how it's actually a different sport. But yeah, like I think like the way that my family operates and the way that my sister and I operate is that like if we're gonna do something, we're gonna do it and try to be the best at it. So like the best at it is to make the Olympics. So I think that it's always been on the forefront of our minds. It's cool that we did it as early as we have been able to do it in our careers, considering we're still NCAA athletes. I think that we're really excited for the future. I know I'm specifically really excited. So nice.
Absolutely. That's and you made it too. We're
Yeah.
here in Paris. So. And now, looking back at your athletic career, is there anyone in mind that you would like to give a special shout out to that has helped you get to where you are today?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many people for sure. I feel like I have a village behind me. I would say my family for sure, my mom and my dad, my siblings, my sister. But I would also say my coach Shanae Townsend, and then also my athletic trainer Mo. Those are probably some shout outs. I would definitely, they've supported me through, the highs and lows of this sport, and, those come and go pretty frequently. So they've been through and through, like by my side throughout this entire journey.
Nice. And is there anything you would tell your younger self?
Yeah.
Or any advice?
Yeah, I think I would definitely tell myself to like really learn to like take up space. I think like at meets like this, like even I keep having to honestly remind myself like in the Olympic Village or like at practice at the training facility, like to take up space and that I belong there and that like I can do anything that I put my mind to, and like basically just like owning up to who I am as an athlete and as a person, and taking up that needed space because I've deserved. I deserve that, so that's what I would probably tell myself, younger self.
Yeah, that's great advice.
Yeah, pretty good, I'd say.
So, as an athlete here, competing, you're staying at the Olympic Village, and I was wondering if you could kind of provide some insights and maybe some cool stories about the experience of living in the village.
Yeah, I mean, it's been pretty insane to be honest, because like it's crazy how many like athletes that you see like on TV and like other sports, like how casually they're just like existing in the village. I think that's like the biggest thing for me that I had to get used to, is that like I'm like the other day I saw like the entire like women's gymnastics team just like walking by me, and I was like, that's so crazy. So that's been pretty insane, but it's been really fun, honestly. Like I said, a little bit overwhelming at first because there's a lot of people, but it's been really neat, and it's cool seeing a lot of people from different countries. And I don't know if you know this, but there's like a pin trading that we do. So it's really fun. Every country like has like a lot of pins that they're given. And then you can trade with another country. So I have a couple other countries' pins here that I've traded, which has been really fun because it sparks up a conversation with other people. So that's been maybe one of my favorite things.
Definitely. I think definitely the Olympic Village experience is definitely the hallmark of the athlete experience here at the Olympics. So it's definitely really cool to hear about. Is there anything that maybe surprised you when you first went in? You said it was a little overwhelming at first, obviously with a lot of people, but was there anything that surprised you?
I would have to talk about the like cardboard beds. I mean, I knew that they were going to be cardboard beds, but I also I didn't fully grasp it until I flipped up the comforter and I was like, wow, that's actually legit cardboard.
Wow.
It's actually crazy. But that's been really cool. But I would say yeah, I mean, honestly, there's not that much storage in. I don't know if a lot of people know it's not that much storage in our room. So my sister and I just have 4 or 5 suitcases each. It's a mess in our room. There's only a rack to hang clothes on and stuff. So we're living out of suitcase also partially. So that's been some things that are a bit surprising, but nothing bad at all. Nothing bad at all.
Was it uncomfortable to sleep at night?
It's not terrible.
Okay.
It's not completely terrible. It's not the best night of sleep, but I wouldn't give it I'm still sleeping well. I wouldn't give it a terrible rating. I know a lot of people are really unhappy with them, but it's not that bad. I know also there was a problem when the first, I got here a little bit later, but a couple athletes that were here first, it was really, really, really hot in the rooms. We didn't have air conditioning, but they just put in units. So that's been really helpful because now we're not really hot in the middle of the night.
Definitely need the AC in this Paris weather. It is very hot right now. Around 80 to 90 degrees Fahrenheit. So.
Yeah.
And so that concludes our interview here with Bella. We want to thank you again for taking the time to do this for the Daily Pennsylvanian and the entire Penn community. The Penn community is behind you to support you, and we're all cheering and rooting for you here. And yeah, thank you so much, Bella.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for having me.